In today's video, we're going to cover how you can add your budget items to your expense tracking spreadsheet. Now, if you've been following along with us in the last few videos, we learned how to organize a spreadsheet table for capturing our transactions, so our income and all of our expenses, and categorizing everything in one place. We also learned how to visualize that information using charts so that we can better understand our spending picture. But now it's time to add the budget aspect to this mix. Remember, our budget is going to tell us how much money we want to spend each month on certain categories. And we're going to place those spending targets next to what we actually spend so that we can easily compare and see where we're under or over. Now, as a first step, let's rework our spreadsheet so that we add a section for our budgeted amounts and a section for calculating that difference. I'll start by moving these charts to the side so that we have a bit more space to work with. Okay, so remember, our budgeted column is going to be something that we manually enter that reflects the goals for what we want to spend each month on these different categories. So I'll just highlight this in a different color to make that a little more obvious. And our difference is going to be the difference between what we actually spend and what we budget for. So let's build that formula now. This is going to be just simple subtraction, where we subtract the amount we spend from what we budgeted. So in the case of our housing category, it'll be our budgeted amount or cell minus the actual spend. Okay, let's hit enter. And Google Sheets is automatically suggesting that I fill the rest of the cells going down this table with the same formula. So I'm just going to accept it, but if this doesn't appear for you, just copy and paste the cell down. Okay, and you'll notice that these numbers are basically just negative versions of what's in column C right now, because column D, that would contain our budgeted amount, is currently empty. We've got our bases down, so now let's quickly demo what this looks like. Let's say, hypothetically, we have all of these targets in our budget column. Now, when you set your budget targets, aim for the right balance of ambitiousness with being realistic. Meaning, don't set budget amounts that are too strict or you won't be able to meet them, which isn't going to be so great for staying motivated and sticking with this long term. But also, don't give yourself lots of wiggle room either if the goal is to seriously buckle down and save. And of course, make sure your budgeted amount doesn't exceed the possible income you can have for the month, at least as many months as that is within your control, because if you budget more than you actually make, then the math simply will not math. So looking at this, here's where we've landed. You can see in our difference column that we're returning the difference between our budgeted amount and our actual spend across all of our different categories. And in case this isn't obvious, the negative amounts mean that we've spent more than we've budgeted for. And anything that's positive means that we've saved in that area. Okay, gang, so let's go over one more bonus thing you can do to help these numbers stand out. Let's say that for each category where we overspend, we want those cells to appear in red. So basically, anything negative in column E, show as red. And for any category where we spend less than we budgeted, we want that to appear in green. This just helps make our budget system a bit more visual and easier to see where we stand. So we'll do this using a feature called conditional formatting. The first thing we want to do is highlight all of the cells where we want this conditional formatting to apply. So everything from E7 to E14. Next, let's open the conditional formatting section of Google Sheets. Okay, so here you can see that we're applying our conditional formatting to the cell range that I just mentioned. Now, let's define our rules. We're basically going to say that anything that is below a 0, so any number that's negative, will fill the cell with red color. And anything that's greater than 0 will fill with green. And for anything that's 0 exactly, we'll just leave it empty. So here's our first rule. And here's our second. Great. So now as our budget amounts change or our spending changes, we can easily see that difference, not just from the amount that we save or overspend by, but by the actual color of the cell in our spreadsheet. Okay, gang, so one last thing we should do just for good measure. Like I said before, you want to make sure that whatever your budget is each month, that your budgeted total does not exceed what you actually bring into the door. So let's add a row in our total breakdown section that just sums everything in our budgeted column so that we make sure that we're not over. And we'll use a simple sum function to do that, where we're selecting cells D8 through D15. Okay, let's hit enter. And perfect. Now we know what we have budgeted total each month. Gang, I hope this video was a quick, helpful overview for beginning to show how you can incorporate your budget process into your expense tracking system in one easy spreadsheet. If this video was helpful, please give it a thumbs up. And for more tips, be sure to subscribe. Thanks.